running for lieutenant governor, and if elected, I would be the youngest guy to be elected by 2 days. So anyway, I'm from Bladen County. I graduated from East Carolina University. I studied accounting and economics. I have my own accounting practice and consulting business now. For the last 8 or 10 years, I've been helping businesses try to stay in business through tough economies and downturns and everything like that. And it's been difficult. And I've been really going through a change in my mentality of thinking, because I believe that our country needs a new vision in our whole political system. We need some young people to get involved. And my heart's really concerned right now about my parents' retirement that they're trying to live on, and then my future retirement. Now, my campaign slogan is Job Development Now. And on an email that I received just yesterday, the title of it says, "The economy's biggest drag right now is government." Now, you couldn't be closer to the truth, because the government's problem is they're in everything. And running for lieutenant governor, I have a few things that I would like to focus on. I would like to focus on the education department and try to make it better and bring in new revenue. I have ways to do that. I have a jobs plan. I have a housing plan right now that's being evaluated by the Congressional Budget Office in Washington, D.C., the Department of Treasury. It's been approved by the National Home Builders Association. It's been approved by the National Realtors Association. I actually got a letter from Vice President Biden's office, a personal letter. And I was like, wow, I'm really making some headway here. This housing plan right now, if it was implemented in the United States, it has a price tag of between $1 to $1.5 trillion to the U.S. economy. It could put over 500,000 people to work in our country. In North Carolina alone, it could probably put anywhere from 10 to 15,000. Okay? Now, a lot of the problems that we've had, just like Mr. Palumbo was talking about with the Dodd-Frank bill and the loaning practices, a lot of the loans that were made should have never been made in the first place. They put people in things they should have never done, or put them in. And that's the biggest problem with government running anything. They do a lot of things they shouldn't do. And what I would like to see happen is that we get some leadership in Raleigh and get some new blood up there, so to speak. Some people that can bring some new ideas to the table. I have a way to generate possibly enough revenue that every state employee can get a raise. Now, I hear it from all the auditors, the Department of Transportation, I hear from all the departments that we haven't had a raise in so many years. Everybody needs a raise. I need a raise. I can't keep up with inflation. I mean, there's no way that we can work enough hours and make enough dollars to keep up with the printing presses in Washington, D.C. And if I was in charge of things up there, and God knows they would probably find a way to put me out real quick, I would ban all the printing presses, because that is killing all of us. There's no way that we're going to be able to keep up with it. I never thought that my grandfather's fortune would come to pass so early in my life. My grandfather always told me, he said, there's going to be another depression, but it's not going to be like the first one. He said it's going to be completely different. And every day I live it. It's almost like I see it coming. And I wish that he could be here, because no, he didn't have a college education, but he wanted me to have one. My dad wanted me to have one, so I could make something out of myself. And now my college education is almost like a preschool education almost. I mean, what do you need? I mean, you can go as far, I know PhDs that's looking for jobs. I mean, I know lawyers that's looking for jobs. And see, the thing is, I don't see anybody coming up with any solutions. Everybody wants to talk about jobs, 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 but how do we get it? We have enough resources right here in our state, right today, that we can generate our own jobs right here from people like in this room. I have traveled and met over 16,000 people in the last 50 or 60 days now, as of yesterday. And I have met with over 400 people in 10 different counties. And on this list right here, I have 45 new products that's developed by North Carolinians. All right, I have 2 patents myself. If I could get the jobs here in North Carolina, I could put 300 people to work myself alone with my 2 products, okay? Now, I spent 2 hours with the Department of Economic Development in Columbia, South Carolina, and the Department of Commerce about a year ago, and they offered me a chance to move one of my products down to South Carolina because they would like to have the jobs, and they had the facility right outside of Dillon. And I was talking to different economic developers all over the Southeast. And see, the thing in Raleigh is we're run by a Democratic governor and a Democrat lieutenant governor. And they control the Department of Commerce. So, of course, they're not going to let a nice little Republican boy get a little head game going for the Republican Party. And see, that's the reason I stepped out. Because the fact is, I don't think there should be any kind of, the age limit for running for lieutenant governor is only 30 years old. And if anybody looks at my age and says, well, he's too young to run, then I'm just, I'm sorry to disappoint you. I'm in the race. I'm in there. I want to be in there. And I'm proud to be in there. Because I know that I can bring things to the table that this state we can take this state miles and miles ahead from what it is now, because I want to include everybody in on it. Because there's no reason that anybody should be left out. That's the reason I'm coming to these little town hall meetings like here and getting people's ideas and putting them on paper and saying, look, if you've got an idea, you contact me. I've got contacts. We can get things going. I've got a patent attorney in Durham that's a real good friend of mine, and it took me a lot of money to do it. And see, if our state would get involved in these things, we could take the people's ideas right here within and manufacture them right here. And this 45 product list right here, if you take and be conservative, some of them could be 200 or 300 jobs for one product. But on average, 100 jobs per product, that's 4,500 more jobs. And I would love to put 300 people on my payroll and give them enough money to make a living and pay for a house and stuff like that. Because I would like to see every person in our state be prosperous, in our country, matter of fact. And I think that North Carolina can lead the revolution on a lot of things if we just get the right people in place. And it doesn't matter where you come from. You can come from anywhere in the world and make something out of yourself. And that's what I'm trying to do right now. I've never really dreamed of being in politics because I didn't want to, I don't like, most people, they'll tell you they hate to talk to politicians. But I don't want that to be the way, I don't want that to be my case. I'm out here to make friends and try to do things that make a positive influence on our state. So if you would, I'd appreciate your vote on May the 8th, and anything that I can do to help out. When I get there, I want my door to be open to people where they can come to me and tell me what they have as a concern, and I can address it. And one thing that I would like to add before I close is a thing that I've been talking to several state representatives and state senators about. I would like for us to explore a way to figure out how we can legislate that a person that's living off the system, off our paychecks and our tax dollars, how can we eliminate them from voting for tax increases when there's agenda coming on the plate. I don't think that you should be able to vote for any tax increases or anything without paying into the system. If it's not going to affect you any at all, you shouldn't be able to make a decision on whether somebody else has to pay more or not. And I feel like we've got to address that. We've got to let everybody have a little skin in the game, as I say. And I believe that with the policies that I have in line that we can do for education, bringing new jobs in is going to bring in new revenue. We don't have to have tax increases. We can loosen up the regulations, matter of fact, and make our state a little bit more business friendly. And if we do that, then we can bring in new revenue for our teachers to have, and maybe everybody can make a little bit more money. But anyway, thank you for allowing us to be here today, and I really want everybody to show up on May 8th. And that's what we've got to do as leaders. We've got to show up at whatever job we go to for the people and make sure we do what the people needs to be done for our state to be prosperous. But thank you. God bless you.
Mr. Reynolds. Jamie Rouse, you still here?